Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, was everything okay with your meal this evening? Fantastic. Okay guys, we're now going to start with speeches, so can you please put your hands together for Father of the Bride, it's Chris.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'll start. First of all, a warm welcome to everyone from me, the very proud father of the bride. Thank you all Thanks to you all for coming from as far away as Germany, the Isle of Skye, Peterhead, and of course even England. So special. As you can see, we have decided to hold the proceedings in the Connor Country Estate rather than go to the bother of hiring a hotel. By the way, a wee word of warning for all those who are staying the night in the castle. If you've checked the website, this place is haunted. Now, they say it's the tormented spirit of a lady who threw herself off the turret rather than marry the local laird. That is a total load of rubbish. Don't believe it. That's just fallacy. No, it's actually the ghostly apparitions of young, demented, kilted men wandering the corridors wailing just one word. Why? Why the wail? Well, why did I have to get married? And then disappear through the wall into the bar. Pretty scary, eh? You know, a lot of brides have got the willies in the honeymoon suite here. That set the tone for the speech. It's traditional for the father of the bride to tell embarrassing stories about his daughter's past. But I'm going to break with that tradition. So, Tracy, I won't mention the Jason Donovan posters in your wall. I won't mention the 600 quid phone bill you ran up when you were at university. And I won't mention the fact that you tell me to come up and feed your cats, and you leave the cat food sitting on top of a huge pile of ironing. Instead of all that, I will say that throughout Tracy's life, I've been very, very proud of her. From the wee girl at playgroup to her present job, she's been hard-working, always a perfectionist, and a lovely daughter and sister to Colin. It's been a pleasure watching her grow up. And now we welcome Gary into the family. Now, it was obvious that right from the start they were very fond of each other. But there was one time that I think Catherine and I realised how close they really were. They were in the Lake District on a winter break, and I received a text from Tracy. It was a photo message of the two of them on top of a hill, freezing rain, snow, it was blowing a gale. I doubt if even a mountain rescue went out that day. But there was the two of them, identically dressed in all weather gear. And all you could see was the big smiles on their faces, and that said it all. They were in love. It was obvious they were soulmates and well devoted to each other. Now the ring is safely in your finger, Gary. I think I can now give you a wee insight into the family. Over the last few months, I've been boring everybody by looking into my family history. And boy, have I discovered some secrets. For example, Tracy's great-great-great-great-grandmother was English. Not only was she English, she was the personal nurse to none other than the Duke of Wellington. Oh. She basically brought him up. Yes, Wellesley, well done. Well, that's right.
That's because she's sharp.
That's right. She brought him up. So without our ancestor, Tracy, Britain would not have won the Battle of Waterloo. And we would all have been French. Or what about old Uncle Ephraim? Now, Uncle Ephraim was a government spy. He infiltrated the Communist Party. He always carried a loaded revolver and spent the latter years of his life running a hotel in Fort William. Another Connor even received thanks from King George VI for his part in helping return the Stone of Destiny to Westminster Abbey after it had been stolen by Scottish nationalists. Right. Yet another one worked as a missionary. A very good position, I believe. There's also an assortment of religious fanatics, football fanatics, and Britain's first homeopathic vet. But none, and I honestly mean this, can compare to cousin Gerald. To cut a long story short, Gerald inherited property in the Highlands that should have went to her cousins in Canada. When they found out, they flew to Scotland, only to find out that Gerald had sold everything at Sotheby's and disappeared. What they didn't know was what Gerald spent the money on. Not in a lavish lifestyle, not in holidays, not in gambling, not in drink. No, Gerald went to Amsterdam. Gerald went to... Listen, there's not a word of lie here. Gerald went to Amsterdam, spent the whole Connor inheritance on a sex change. Honestly, a sex change, a boob job, a facelift, lots of designer frocks, and come back to Fort William as Geraldina. In high heels. Now hopefully, Gary, Gerald, or Geraldina as we now know him, was not typical of the Connors. Though I must admit, I'm beginning to enjoy wearing this skirt. The brand suspenders are don't worry, Catherine, don't worry, I'll wash them before I put them back on. So, Gary, welcome to the Connors. So let's turn to Gary. One thing I've learnt about Gary is never ever try and compete with him with technology. His computer room at home is more like the control deck of the Starship Enterprise. If you've got a Generation 3 phone, he's got a Generation 4 phone. If you can Sky Plus recordings and satellite TV, Gary can access his satellite using his iPhone. I bow to your knowledge of technology. Now, the instant we met Gary, we knew he was a very caring person. And the day that he and Tracy got engaged remains still as one of the happiest moments in my life. I've never seen Tracy so happy. Gary, you're a fine young man, and I'm glad you and Tracy found each other. Your mum and dad must be very proud of such a well-mannered, considerate and kind son. Also at this time, some of us older ones' thoughts turns to those in both families that can't be here today. I'm sure that if Tracy's grands were here, they would have been the life and soul of the party. It was really nice to hear the piper play Highland Cathedral, which was Tracy's grand's Moore's favourite tune. Now, when I set out to write this speech, I decided this is going to be easy. No problem. No, easy peasy, right, okay. Get on the internet, search for Father of the Bride speeches. Now, there was plenty available, but there was no way I was going to pay 10 quid to download them. And then, by accident, now I'm saying this by accident, stumbled on a website called Intimate Wedding Nights. Absolutely filthy. Perverted. Disgusting. I had to watch it for a whole hour just to see how the preparation was. Mind you, Catherine, I did learn a few tricks, so... I just hope that four-poster bed's get handcuff attachments. I'm meant to give advice to the newlyweds based on my experience of being married. Unfortunately, Catherine is sitting pretty close by and I've got to be careful what I say here because I'm well aware of her ability to chuck a plate at me. I do remember one piece of advice that was given to a newlywed man. That is, if your credit card gets stolen, don't be too hasty in reporting it missing. The thief will probably spend less on it than your new wife will. Listen, that's enough from me, I think. Well, what I'd like to say that Gary and Tracy are as happy will ever be half as happy as Catherine and I have been over the last 35 years, then they'll have a great life together. The best advice I can give them is that they should neglect the world rather than neglect each other. Well, that's enough from me. I hope you all have a very enjoyable evening, and I would now ask you all to raise your glasses and wish the newlyweds, Gary and Tracy, a long and happy life together. Gary and Tracy. That's me. I can have a drink now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.